Hi friends, so today we are going to explore how we use photo to create this kind of like single color imagery on our product. So you know that custom illustration is quite expensive. So if we could pick photos and turn that into a this kind of style, then this could apply it into many different colors. So this has some uniform perspective. Okay, so let's see the reference here. This is the interface that we are going to create. So what's the problem with this kind of illustration? So as you can see, there are a lot of gray area. So my assumption is that the designer is using a PNG illustration and then just use the luminosity to become a black and white photo. So there's some gray area. It's not crisp at all, not like this one. It's very crisp. Now let's take a look at this interface, and then thank you for this person on the Behance. Thank you for your project. Okay, let's get started. So this starter pack right here, let's start with the I think I might want to start with the white one. So as you can see, I've already done most of the thing, and right now we need this photo to be changed. So let's open up the Lumi plugin. This plugin is really nice. Now for this one, some tips and tricks for you to pick the imagery is that, so for example, this is a light background. So I would say I want something like this one. This is a nice light background. But also you have to check it. For example, this shadow right here. The shadow right here is exceed the boundary. So when you do the effect, do the plugin, then this might not be clean. But we could try, because this shadow is kind of like soft. So we could try this one. And so this is the first tips that you need to remember. If you are using the light background, then choose something that's light and have a striking contrast on the foreground, but also accounting for the shadow. So next thing is, I think this one looks nice as well. So this one has a lot of texture of the shadow. This might not be optimal. So one trick that I like to use, I just use this and then search. So you can see here, and I think this one looks kind of nice, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to do 4 of the light one. Yeah, this cat looks nice. I like how Figma have this red line to indicate the original file. So now I'm going to open up the filters and effect plugin. So one thing that you need to remember is that always start with the very big photos. For example, this one, I would suggest that the height at least 800. It would be big enough. And yeah, I think these are all big enough already. So let's do that. Command K to open filters and effects plugin. So let's remove the first effect, and then first thing we use black and white. We are not doing grayscale, but black and white. So I could adjust the threshold. So ideally, I don't want this shadow to exceed the boundary, so I would do that. And I want a bit more like the texture coming in, so I'm adjusting. Don't think this would work because I like this one, but I'm not so sure about this. But maybe we could change that later. I think this is a tricky one. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. Then the next thing I'm going to use is alpha channel. So apparently it put the black part to become alpha. Then let's invert this one. So now this looks a bit nicer. Apparently I want this, actually I want this texture. But it's a bit difficult because this white color is the same as the background color. So yeah, not quite possible right now. Let's do another trick here to see if we can bring up more. Let's do unsharp mask. So when you do this unsharp mask, put it at the end of the list. So you can see that texture looks nicer. I think this one looks nice. But this is tricky. This looks like manageable, I think. As long as it's not exceeding the boundary, then we're good. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. So next thing what we can do is we could save as a new image. So now here is our new image. So to organize it further, just put it right here. Then this one. Now we're going to do this one. So filters and effect. So it already have some preset that we just adjusted, so I'm not gonna change it because it looks nice. So I'm gonna save the image, put it right here. This also looks kind of nice. Let's see. I think the texture of this one is a bit too much, and also I don't like this line. But yeah, we could just crop it, so no need to worry about that. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, this one and this one. Yeah, this looks nice, right? Alright, so we've done all the light one, so we're gonna use this, and yeah, we just copy the whole thing and then select this imagery icon and then Shift Command Option E to replace. So this is a lot bigger, so we just scaled it until it is in the right place. Now the next thing, you know what, I've already done this one, so let's just do that. Replace everything. Now just put it in the right place. Okay, now we are going to just copy the image field and then replace it. And then, okay, apparently this is not, it's going to adjust a bit. Okay, look at this cutie. I think this is big. Now the next one is this one, and let's change that. I want the whole thing, so I'm gonna drag it. I saw this line, so I'm gonna scale it down. I think this is not too proportional, so yeah, let's see if we can make it a bit proportional. Otherwise we might need to change the illustration, but this I think looks nice. So here we could have this kind of illustration style, and ideally if we can do it one-to-one, that would be great. But sometimes some imagery is not good in white because it might look like a negative field. That I'm gonna show you how to pass this as a white one. So let's open the filters and effect. Then we are going to delete all that instead of invert color. So I'm going to save this image. So this will be the one, and also this one. And later on you will see why this isn't a good idea. So create a dark background and put it behind. So as you can see, not everything works like a charm. So this is not quite working because it feels like there's some grading here, so it feels like a negative feel. And this also not, but I think the upper part is crisp enough to make it feel like it's okay to become white, but this one is not because there's some grading part right here. Okay, so yeah, it's not really ideal to have that. So for example, I do a bunch of exploration here. So when you use a light film, use a light background, these are the result, and these are the negative one. So as you can see, only this one probably crisp enough that to become a one-to-one, like an light and dark background. So if you are developing a dark mode, so remember to choose the imagery that is looking good on both sides of the background. So this is a dark background that I think this one looks nice, but this definitely not. And I think this one also looks nice. This is okay, but not ideal though. Okay, so if you are going to only developing one mode, then this is for you. Then the other mode, if you're going to do the dark background. Okay, now let's open the Lumi plugin. So if you're developing in a dark background, I would suggest you choose a dark color and start to search. So we are looking for a dark background, something like this one. So we could do that. This has some grading, but I think this would look nice just on the dark background. Next one is, this one look good. Okay, I think we have 4, right? But since I've already done part of it, like these 3 imagery, I've done it underneath, so I'm going to do a few different more to just explore. So I'm going to change this one. I think this one looks nice. Let's do this one. Weird thing is that most of them are flowers. Yeah, I've done this one. This looks really nice. I put it below. Now I wanted to change this one out. Okay, let's start with this 4. Now we're going to edit these photos since it's going to be on the dark background, so I will put a dark background right here. So right now, let's open up filters and effects plugin. So I want this to be inverted, so yeah, not this way. So it's gonna look like this, but we want the white one. Okay, just right here, it looks pretty nice. Then here, I feel that this could have been a little bit more, so I'm going to adjust that. If you think this image preview is pretty small, that's because I'm not paid for this plugin. If you have premium membership, then you could have a larger door for previewing the imagery. Anyway, I'm going to adjust this. See if we could bring a little bit more stuff here. There's a giant arrow. I think this looks much better. I'm gonna use this one. And this one, let's turn off that. And this one, oh, this looks nice. This one looks very good on the dark background. Let's replace it into our interface. So let's put it right here. Replace it. It's very big. It's okay. Just scale it down. This looks pretty nice. Then let's replace it all over. Now we're going to copy the image fill. We'll adjust that all together. I don't think this needs adjust. This might be, I want it to be a bit bigger on the flower side instead of a stalk. And this one, I want to flip it, so we could use Shift Edge to flip it horizontally. And probably just adjust it because it's all straight, so I want it to sort of straight. I want to scale it down a bit and then so straight. So this one is a dark background for dark background, and let's see if it did well on the light background. So what we can do is open up and then use only invert color. I think this looks nice. This doesn't look so great because it has this kind of negative film effect, but this also looks pretty nice. What does this one? Okay, so I guess you do the flowers thing, and then, or maybe if you start with the dark background with light foreground, you could possibly much easier to get the one-to-one illustration style imagery for your dark and light mode. But if you are not concerned about this, then you have more options with the light background. Okay, I think that's it for our tutorial, and make sure to check all the exploration underneath and see how it works. Okay, that's it. Bye bye, see you.